lifted off from this pad 6 times between 1969 and 1972 to walk upon the lunar soil.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Riding Saturn V rockets, the astronauts left Florida and the Earth behind for 2 weeks while they ventured to the moon. In 1981, Pad A began hosting the world's first reusable spacecraft, NASA's space shuttles, on missions that would make working in space more commonplace while still achieving breathtaking science and accomplishing engineering feats that would have been out of reach before. The launch complex hosted shuttle missions for 30 years, including the first and last missions for the reusable orbiters.
Liftoff, the final liftoff of Atlantis. Shoulders of the space shuttle. America will continue the dream.
Right around with Atlantis. Houston now controlling the flight of Atlantis. Space shuttle split.
Since that final shuttle mission, SpaceX overhauled the pad extensively and refurbished storage tanks and other equipment there. The company also built a hangar at the base of the pad pyramid to handle processing of the rockets. Although the modifications were wide-ranging, the changes to the pad were slight compared to the work that went into constructing the facility. In the 1960s, NASA built a pair of launch complexes suitable for the needs of the world's first moon rocket, the Saturn V and its Apollo space. When it lifts off from Pad A to deliver supplies to the space station, the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will bring a new dawn for the venerated launch complex. This will be the first mission not operated by NASA to fly from Launch Complex 39A, as SpaceX takes the reins for the first time since at least the pad from the space agency. Future missions include launching commercial spacecraft. Eventually, astronauts are to launch from the pad again, too. The great American gateway to space stands ready again to make history. Each mission is expected to set a new brick in the pathway to space that began at Launch Complex 39A.
Elon Musk and his team of engineers at SpaceX have a dream of going to Mars, and the launch that's set here for Saturday morning is a big step to getting there. This morning, SpaceX engineers say they're highly confident, but it is rocket science after all. A tough reminder of that last September, when one of the SpaceX rockets blew up on the launch pad, caused by a highly technical fueling problem. But Elon Musk, a real live Tony Stark, is undeterred. His team back at it this morning. The mission to resupply the International Space Station. But this weekend's launch of a reusable rocket, one step closer to his grand idea to send humans to Mars. But Elon Musk's dream of getting to Mars and colonizing the red planet has a wrinkle. Food. In NASA's labs,
it is not easy to grow things in space, so that's the real challenge we have.
Fiction meets science. So you are actually growing a potato on what would be Mars.
Correct.
Plants create vital oxygen, so astronauts can breathe on a planet, which at its closest is more than 35 million miles from Earth's atmosphere. Are we really going to Mars?
Eventually, we are. That's the ultimate destination, and I think we can get there in the 2030s.
That would mean that if you have a newborn at home right now, by the time that child is in high school, they'll be launching rockets from here with astronauts. Destination, Mars. Kerry Sanders, NBC News at the Kennedy Space Center.
Historic launch of a SpaceX rocket on a supply mission to the International Space Station. It came one day after the launch was delayed because of a problem with an engine part. NBC's Kerry Sanders reports from Florida.
T-minus 30.
On the second day, a second try and success.
3, 2, 1,
Ignition and liftoff.
The SpaceX liftoff this morning from pad 39A. The same spot where Apollo launched to the moon and where the last space shuttle blasted off 6 years ago. Today's achievement,
Congratulations.
Cheers, congrats.
Awesome
Wonderful.
success.
It was a great day.
not just the liftoff.
Stage 1 touchdown confirmed.
SpaceX President Gwen Shotwell says returning the first stage of the Falcon 9 rocket to a landing zone picture perfect.
SpaceX is the only organization that has been able to do that. Basically have a mission, take second stage and a payload onto orbit, turn around, come back home, re-enter, and land on the dime.
A rocket component larger than a 16-story building returned to Earth from 85 miles in space. A pillow-soft landing, less than 10 feet from where X marks the spot. Billionaire SpaceX owner Elon Musk tweeting, "Baby came back." It's been about 3 hours since the rocket touched down here, and I can still smell it from where I'm standing here. It's got an acrid smell, sort of like a marshmallow that you left on a campfire for too long and it burned. The payload now 2 days from the space station. On board, plants. Growing food in space for astronauts, essential for a mission to Mars. Lettuce already grown in weightlessness. NASA labs now growing it in simulated Martian soil. Tastes good.
Pretty yummy.
SpaceX says it could be launching a manned mission to Mars in just 16 years. Kerry Sanders, NBC News at the Kennedy Space Center.